all. We are here. Everyone, you guys ready? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you for coming to our meeting today. Public hearing, who's first?
Hogan's first, 9-8.
No, Hogan's, no, Jimmy Montel, you have Hogan's, right? 9A?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you, Councilor Caldwell. Councilor Hogan has item 9A. We're going to hold that one.
Okay. Thank you. Any commissioner, these will deal with
I'm
that
gonna do it Friday on Monday.
on Monday. Thank you. Work. Okay, I have items, blessings to all today. I have items 11 through 14. I don't think Commissioner is Abbott. Number 11 and 12, we're still waiting on the information for the dog shelter, right? We'll have that like sometime next week, right?
That's right.
Okay,
yeah.
that's what Connor said. All right, 13, go ahead.
13, again, Deputy Commissioner Chris Abbott, the Parks Department. Item 13 is with Onondaga Earth Corps to provide training, programming, supervision to youth hired for the summer. The Parks Corps Clean Streets Crew is part of the City Youth Employment and Service Program through the year July 1st through June 30th. Charged to Syracuse Opportunity to Works.
Okay, this is ongoing. This is something that we do every year, right?
It is, yep.
Any
Annual
questions?
program out of
Is this
the
for
budget.
just one person?
I'm
or
sorry?
Is this for one person
No,
in
this
the
is
park
for
department?
the crew.
Just the
my
crew
understanding.
members?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. How many do we have?
Not sure what the number is for this year, but I can get that information to you.
Item number 14,
Item number 14 is doing with the Dormitory Authority, DASNY, Facilities Grant Program in an amount not to exceed $300,000 to provide improvements to the Thorndon Park Amphitheater, universal access, upgrade restrooms beyond the stage, improve drainage surrounding.
awesome. Thank you. All right, I think you're all set, Mr.
Thank you.
Abbott. All right, Mr. Choma-Joe.
Thank you. I have item 15 to 23.
Good afternoon, Council. I'm Michael Mons, the Fire Chief. 15 is to accept a donation of $8,500 to support our training division to be used for facility improvement and the delivery of our training courses.
Tell them to give us more.
I wish. I wish. Is there
Thank
any
you, Chief.
questions? Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah,
Thank you.
take care.
Good afternoon, Councilors. Red Shaw, First Deputy Chief of Police. Item 16 with the New York State Department of Agriculture. It's for our GVTF to go out to the state fair, and they pay the bill not to exceed $50,000 for the cost of the officers to help with security out there.
This is yearly, right?
Every year. Yes, sir.
Any questions?
Number 2, same thing. It's an annual contract we have with Dr. Norman Leswing to provide psychological testing services to the police department on an as-needed basis for the following year, not to exceed $20,000. He does our fit for duty examinations when we need to return officers to work.
Can we just see from last, I guess this is yearly thing as well. Can we just see some numbers from last year as well?
Certainly.
To see what's, of course, respecting the privacy and all.
Yeah, I don't think we get to that mark, but I'll give you whatever we spent on it.
Okay. What you spend,
I don't know why we would do a waiver every year of RFP. Why? I don't know why we do a waiver every single year for this
agreement?
person. It's the same person every year, but we do a waiver every year.
yeah, because I think last year when I asked, Chief, you said that with her knowledge, with Norm knowledge, with the department and the officers, that they are more comfortable, right? With,
Yeah. Yep.
Right. The comfort is the comfort level that's
Well,
really.
well, if these fit for duties are something that the administration is telling the officers that they have to do. This isn't for their own personal well-being. This is when we want to make sure that they're fit to come back to work.
Fit to come back. Okay.
But they are comfortable with this doctor.
All right, any questions? 18?
18 is an agreement with MA Pulsite Consulting for information technology and network-related support services for a period of 1 year. The total cost not to exceed $411,295 from account number. We wanted to amend this by $250,000 to pay invoices for what work that was incurred as a result of a technical disruption that SPD experienced back in January.
Yeah, and how long was it, Chief?
Well, we got squared away right away, but there was a lot of investigation stuff that went on for quite a while. So we're done. We severed services with them. They're not going to be in our working for the city any longer. But that was the final invoice that they submitted for the work that they did.
Questions? 19?
19 is a application to the United States Department of Justice, Criminal Justice Services under the COPS fiscal year 25, Safer Outcome, De-escalation and Crisis Response Training Grant. So the amount not to exceed $500,000. This is to, if awarded upon the approval of the mayor and the common council, the funds will be used for training, overtime backfill, and equipment related to the continuation of the crisis intervention training. That's the one where it's a week-long training, it's 40 hours. We usually do it out there in Salve. We have to pay for instructors and the time that the officers are missing because it's a long course, right? This is the one that teaches officers how to de-escalate people with emotional issues, ADHD, any kind of special needs person you could come across at specialized training. I think we have like 25% of our patrol division currently trained up on that, and we'd like to continue to raise that to more number higher. There's no local match required for that.
So the intention is to hopefully put more patrol officers into this, right?
Yes.
As opposed to.
That's the exact idea. We have a couple sergeants that actually teach the course for us. But while they're not at work, we need to hire sergeants to stand in their place, and this grant covers that kind of stuff.
And then as you can, as you notice, we only ask, and the chief has been great about this. City clerk has also been working very closely, and I think Janet as well, to just make sure that at this point, we focus on application only.
Yes, sir. We have a new process we're working on. Yep.
Yeah, and then they will come back
Already applied
for agreement. Yeah, and you have already applied, right?
Yes.
Okay. I would like next time, to just make sure that before you apply, you come to the council first.
Before we apply?
Before you apply. So that's usually
It's required, Joe, isn't the state required that they come to the council for the applications before they apply, that the municipalities should come and get approval?
Depends upon the grant in question. It's hard to make a general statement.
Okay.
But in this particular case, it is.
It is?
And the three that's on here, it is.
Okay. Let's just pay attention to that.
Yep, we're tightening this up, and everything's going to go through Janet Burke's office so that we have one track.
Okay, just let's pay attention to that. If it is supposed to come here first, we don't want it to be after the fact.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right. So that's 6. So 19, 20, 21 are all application.
So
You want to walk through?
20, there's some explanation with 20, and 21 we want to withdraw. So 20 is the governor's latest project. The money opportunity came to us in short notice. What this is, she wants to set up domestic violence prevention and training to match kind of what we do with the anti-gun stuff, which is it's a huge across the state program, and every major municipality is involved in it. So we have the money available to us. We want to be able to move forward with applying for it and accepting the money, but it's sitting there, it's available.
But do we already have a program, like the domestic, because it said like overtime for domestic violence?
Not on this
follow-up?
level. This level, there's going to be somebody in charge of it. We'll probably have to hire somebody. There's going to be committee meetings regularly. It's not just going to involve the Syracuse Police Department either. So it's a holistic, more holistic approach towards domestic violence.
So the county is going to also be involved in this?
I'm sorry?
Is the county also going to be involved?
I believe so. I'll find out for you, but I think so, yeah. Because we have joint domestic violence police, so.
Okay.
So we're going to withdraw item 20.
No.
21.
21.
Chief 21, right?
Thank you.
Yep. I'll get you the answer on 20, who's involved.
All right.
Okay.
The 21, we're asking if that's withdrawn.
Okay. I guess 22. '22 is assessment.
Good afternoon, councilors. Michael Lehman, Deputy Commissioner, Asset Management and Valuation for the Assessment Department. For item 22, we are requesting to extend the agreement with CHA, the project manager who's helping with the relocation of police and fire from the Public Safety Building in Patrol East to 1153 West Fayette. Are there any questions?
What time frame do we have to move this? Will it be like on a weekend when traffic is low, when we have to move things to the new facility?
As far as the personnel or
First of
equipment?
all,
Or?
you know, a lot of the equipment, when you have to transfer.
That'll be a tiered approach beginning in December
Okay.
through February.
Sure,
right
the
now.
chair
Yeah.
approach, all right.
So Michael, what represents the cost differential from year to year? We were 136 prior year, 320 upcoming year.
The total amount hasn't changed, 454,176, as we discussed last autumn. We asked for the first portion of it in the 25 fiscal year. We're asking for the remainder in the 26 fiscal year. Their contract will run, they began in January, 15 months until next March, not to exceed the 454,000.
And so what is this next phase looking like?
Can you be more specific?
Well, basically, you know, again,
Please.
I'm looking at the difference between prior year and current year, and there's a significant jump in the expenditures. What are we moving into with relation to this contract and that increase in expenditures?
Okay, so I'll say by contrast, the first half of this year versus the second half of this year, most of the construction work has been done. A lot more work now will fall into the project manager's shoulders as we get closer to the move-in date, as Councilor Nave just asked about. So including furniture, fixtures, and equipment, which we'll discuss again momentarily, the actual personnel move, basically the actual move part. Right now, the building is under daily construction, and it's going along quite well.
Other questions? No. And I guess, that's it? All right.
Thank you, Councilor. Item 23, another bond ordinance request authorizing an issuance to defray the costs of additional furniture and equipment for the 1153 relocation. This time we will be addressing storage racking, fitness equipment, window treatment, and lockers. These are things that weren't to be provided by the previous vendor, so we just separated the budget.
There was a question a couple weeks ago about items that could be salvaged and moved over. Did we ever get a list for that? Did we get a list of those items?
It was being reviewed last week.
In terms, remember we talked about, okay, if you are going to buy new furnitures,
Yes.
right? Are you going to maybe look through the current furnitures and see what is usable and can be moved and, you know?
Yes, I remember that conversation. I remember Councilor Nave asking if we would be able to sell some of the furniture that can't be relocated. We're still looking into what exactly can be repurposed or moved to the new location, and I will get you a list as soon as I have one.
And I remember Council Nave wanted to buy some chairs, right?
Well, I want to get Chief Cecil, let's get Chief Sardines.
That's right.
Well, I get, for those that don't know, this for number 23, the $1 million, is a half of the $2 million capital improvement project.
Yes.
Allocation. So this is the last of the $2 million.
Yes.
So it's already in, and we're spending it, I guess, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you.
Majo, Rita?
Yeah.
I thank you. I have items 24 and 25. 24 to appropriate funds in the amount of 15,000 to the LGS flagship program. Oh, you're going to talk about it?
Sure.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Council. Rick Elsevier, Director of Human Resources. Item 24 is the appropriation of funds to our annual appropriation of funds to the LGS program, the Leadership of Greater Syracuse program, which we do participate in. So we will select a candidate to go through the program and receive leadership coaching and development and networking to help better leaders in the city.
Awesome. Any questions?
Questions, concerns, comments?
Thank you.
Beautiful, thank you.
And then I'm going to ask Don Little to please step up to the mic.
Let's go.
We have students from Nottingham. Can you stand so we can recognize you?
Bulldog.
They have done an incredible, right? They brought back a very accomplished group of students. Can you please tell us a little bit about it?
I will explain a little bit, but before I do that, I just wanted to say I am really excited to be here, and I'm excited to see city government. I see many of you all over the place, including the deputy mayor. It is really exciting to see all of you and many Nottingham grads somewhere scattered throughout the room. But a bit about the competition. It is an annual competition. This is the 42nd year that the New York State Bar has held. I'm sorry, 42nd year, that the 43rd year, somewhere in there, that they've held the competition. And it's the first time that Nottingham has ever actually won the entire thing. And to give you a little story about this, when we first started competing about 30 years ago, we were awful. In fact, we had two advisors before me, the one guy who started them, Mr. Cambereri, who teaches in Auburn, and the other advisor who went on to SU to teach teachers and is now in Philadelphia teaching at a college. And then for the last 26 years, it's been me. And when I started coaching the team, we were awful. And then over the time, we started catching on, and we got better and better, and we persisted. And this team, just to give you a sense, I just wanted to tell you who they beat and how they got it. Week 1, they beat Jamesville DeWitt. And then they beat East Syracuse Manoa, Central Square. Then they beat CBA. And then they beat Fayetteville Manlius to win the county championship. In regionals, they went to Utica and beat New Hartford. And then we went down to Binghamton and we beat Sherburne-Earlville, and then Vestal. And then we went to Albany. And in the morning round on the first day, we defeated Scotia Glenville. And then in the afternoon, we beat East Islip out in Suffolk County, Long Island. And on the next day, we competed against Hunter College High School out of New York City. And it's a very selective school. They test to get in. It's a very, very good school. For those of you who are familiar with Hamilton, the man who created it is a Hunter College High School graduate. I'd love to call him and tell him we beat them. That's not going to happen. But these kids put in, I can't even tell you the hours. Some of them are still tired from it. It was a very long season, 6 months. We started in December. We won the championship on the 21st of May. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to recognize us. We enjoy the work we do. I'm a proud city resident, have lived on the north side. You, Mr. Commissioner Navi, you visited my house not long ago.
Yes.
Yes, I did. I'm very excited for the city. I'm excited that Commissioner Robinson put some signs up by Nottingham so the people coming into the city will see it. And so thank you very much.
Thank you. We're really very proud of you and all the work you do with the students, and more so of the students, that brought back this great recognition for the Syracuse City School District. Congratulations. Okay, so, and we have a resolution on the table. Is everybody signing in into the resolution?
Absolutely.
Alrighty, okay, we got this.
Yes, congratulations. You know, I'm excited. I'm cheesing from here to there. Once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog. Remember that.
Well, you've only been at this school like 1,000 times this year.
Yeah. I love
You've been
it.
visiting us again real soon.
I know, I love it. Thank you for standing up and being just great. Thank you very much. Counselor, you done? Counselor Gathers?
Thank you, Council Caldwell. We'll have items 26 through 50. 26, 27, 28, of course, we have a public hearing on Monday, July 7th at 1 p.m. regarding the sweeping program and also the slurry seal. If there's any questions on that, we can move forward to item 29.
26, you're waiting for the public hearing? Okay.
Yes, yep.
All right. Okay.
Good afternoon, councilors. Joe Barry, First Assistant Corporation Counsel. For item number 29, we're still in discussions with Genepic about some technical language in the ordinance. We have a meeting with them tomorrow morning, and we hope to have a final version tomorrow afternoon to submit to the clerk's office.
Thank you.
Okay. Good. All right. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. I could quickly revisit the grant question just to clarify my remarks. In my mind, my opinion, it depends upon the requirements of the grantor and whether or not there's a local match involved. Many grantors will require an ordinance just for the application, and the administration should not apply without council approval if there's a commitment of city funds like a local match. Without a local match, they have to come back to the council for the agreement. And historically, as you may know, the process has been to do it all at once, application and agreement, just to wrap it all up in one ordinance.
So only if it requires a match, they need to come forward. That's it.
If there's an agreement in there, they need to come if they do an application.
They always have to come for the agreement.
Afterwards.
So we've combined those historically into application and agreement. Kind of makes it easier for everyone.
Okay, Janet is behind you. Yeah.
Here's our real expert. I'll let Janet.
Hi, Janet Burke, Director of Research. The letters before you that were submitted prior to coming to get approval were a mistake. We always absolutely submit before we apply. If we don't, it's because there absolutely is no date, no wiggle room to get it in. When it happens, normally I would send a letter, copy of the letter to the clerk and to the committee chair of on the council. Normally, sometimes it's the police, and let you know that that had happened and that why that situation happened. These two or three of them were just a mistake. So please, we will always come a match or no match. I appreciate Joe saying that, but our process is we come no matter if there's a match or not.
Thank you, Janet.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Item 30.
Known counselors, my name is Mirza. I work for the engineering department, and I'm here to present item 30, 31, and 32. 31 is the bond ordinance authorization for infrastructure improvements and stormwater improvements. Total amount not to exceed $350,000. Item number 31, authorizing engineering department to proceed with infrastructure improvements and stormwater improvements. Total amount not to exceed $350,000. Both of those items are the same for the same project throughout the city. And item number 32 is the revocable permission to Syracuse Little League to install, own, operate, maintain, and repair a new pavilion at Syracuse Little League fields at 401 Loomis Ave behind Van Dyne Elementary School.
Any questions?
No questions.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, I have a question, and it's about some of the pavilion, not for the Van Dyne, but I've gotten some some questions from individuals at, I think it's Meacham Field. Is that right by Bob Cecil? Across the street from Bob Cecil? So there's some concerns with how one area is a seated pavilion and another area is not. Like, one team has a good coverage and one team
That would be
wouldn't.
Parks.
Oh, that would be Parks, okay.
Yeah, that's, he's just the
Okay.
engineer storm, that would be Parks.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
I'll talk with Parks.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have item 33 and 34.
Good afternoon, councilors. I have items 33, 34. Ken Towsley, street lighting manager. Looking for bonds to authorize the interstate lighting upgrade system, replacement of poles, lights, bases, new sensors for the 81 project. We're going to be supplying about 500 plus sensors for the 81 project.
Ken, how come this isn't going through the DOT?
This is for what we currently own. So there's a shared agreement with DOT and the city for all the highway lighting. So this is mainly for the replacement of an accident. So we have an accident at Midler Ave. We're responsible to go back and replace that in kind. The additional money is for an agreement we made with the state where we will supply the sensors for the lights to work. They buy the decorative fixtures, and they'll do the install during this construction. Anything after construction, once the project is complete, repair and maintenance and power all falls on the city.
And this is under CHIPS, so is it?
Some of it will be under
reimbursable?
CHIPS, yes. When we do a full replacement, we'll be able to get reimbursements for it.
So, and after you put in a light, Ken, and good to see you, by the way.
You as well,
Been-
Joe.
Been a while.
Yes, sir.
After you put in the light, who maintained like the vegetation around it? Did that have some light?
DOT takes care of all the grounds around. I know like the on-ramps, off-ramps, the right-of-ways in that area off the highway, DOT will address that.
And in the city?
Excuse me?
In the city?
Yep.
And we have, I'm on the next thing, for more lighting, if we have recommendations for other parks, lighting in the parks, just come see you, right?
Call me, give me a call, yep.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Thanks, Ken. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
All right, so 35.
Hello, Rich DeVesti, Fleet Director. 35 is just changing, the company we used as a vendor, they closed and sold the rights for their parts to Binghamton Truck. So all we are is just changing the vendor name.
We're happy to see
Everything
you,
else-
Rich.
I'm still here.
I'm excited, I'm
still
like, wait a
plugging
minute,
away.
Rich walking up?
I'll be here for a little bit. But yeah, that's all. It's just a new company that we deal with. Hackers finally retired. So.
You said a new company or a name change?
No, they bought out Hackers.
Oh,
Hackers.
okay.
They bought out, they're a supplier of sanitation truck parts. So, that's it.
Thank you. All right, item 36.
Good afternoon, Council. Neil Burke, DPW. Item 36 is a contract extension for Traffic and Transportation Engineering Services with JMT of New York, Inc.
So can you go into a little more detail around what traffic and engineering services are, what they represent, what we're paying for, what we get?
Yeah, so this is a contract that we use as needed. The amount included is $275,000, and that's do not exceed. We use this for detailed design as well as traffic counts and other necessary studies that we can't do in-house, again, on an as-needed basis.
And what are some of the projects you've called them for in the past year?
In the past year, we've
Or
done...
2 year, whatever, just kind of generally trying to get a grasp of what we're...
Yeah, we've done some pavement marking analysis. We've done traffic signal timing, as well as some wiring diagrams for the controllers in the cabinets themselves. So things of that nature, usually pretty technical stuff. A lot of the smaller items we try and do in-house. If we can do it in-house, we do, obviously, because we have the expertise, and we don't want to spend money if we don't have to.
Any other questions?
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Item 37.
Good afternoon, councilors. Connor Muldoon, Chief Operating Officer. So this item number 37 is our Vision Zero strategy. Vision Zero is a plan to eliminate all traffic fatalities and severe injuries while also increasing safe, healthy, and equitable mobility for all. We are part of a network of dozens, if not hundreds of cities across the world who have enacted these sorts of plans. Our Vision Zero action plan efforts began about a year ago. We've engaged residents across a wide variety of channels. We've held 5 public meetings, one in each quadrant and one downtown, where different aspects of the plans were discussed and presented. Constituent feedback was collected. We held 2 rounds of feedback complementing each of those in-person meetings. We developed an interactive mapping tool which allowed residents to highlight specific locations of concern and also to receive input on the plan. We received between 800 and 1,000 public comments on our plan. And also, our consultant conducted pop-up events at community festivals throughout the city, including the Latino Festival and the Westcott Street Cultural Fair, to ensure that diverse community voices were heard. Our plan now, as in final draft form, has been presented to you, and we're looking to have your approval to then use that plan to go seek out some additional funding to enact some of these traffic calming efforts throughout the city. There was an item that was going along with this, a grant application for Safe Streets for All, Clerk McBride, that we spoke about a week or so ago. I think we do have a resolution, if I could connect with you afterwards to try to make sure that we're all set there, but those are connected and to support that Vision Zero plan.
How does the VO bikes play into this traffic study?
So VIO is our vendor for our micromobility solutions, our scooters and bikes. We've worked with them for this is our 3rd year, I believe. And so that is part of an effort to provide multimodal transportation options for our city, particularly given that 35% of our city residents do not have access to a vehicle at home.
Well, how does the reduction of injuries play in with VO into this? Because it's scary.
Let me get Neil, perhaps.
Yeah. And I think, what I would like to request, and actually sent Councilor Gather as a text the other day, I think we should have a committee meeting on VO scooters. I know that, I was part of the kind of negotiation of the new terms of the contract and still involved, even though it's a DPW item. I get a lot of phone calls from fellow councilors, from residents. I think that we all have questions about the program, kind of where we're at, and I think, I would love a full session on VO and figure out where we're at and where we're going with it.
We can definitely have another committee meeting coming up soon about that, to tackle that issue with the VO stuff. As far as the plan here, we're gonna.
We just need to have a committee meeting to go over the entire plan, because we need to figure out how the bike lanes play into any of this and how effective they are, especially with the VO bikes, because there's constant near accidents, and accidents that hasn't resulted in vehicle impact, but there's people falling off these bikes constantly. So if that's them getting out of the way of traffic, or if the bikes just come to an immediate stop, I'm not sure. But we need to figure that out, so.
Yeah, I think part of the Vision Zero plan pillars are engineering, enforcement, and then education. So making sure that people who are using different mobility devices, whether they're walking, biking, skating, et cetera, are doing so in the appropriate locations, are biking and using scooters in the bike lanes and not on sidewalks. So it's definitely a point well taken, and we'd be happy to discuss that further.
Yeah, but we have cars parking them in the bike lane as well, so that's where we need to figure out what's going on. And while Neil is still here, what's going on Lemoyne Ave? What's going on there? Why are the bike lanes in the middle and the bike lanes are
If you have
not-
specific questions about it, happy to answer it. You have to take a look at the plans and get back to you, but
So the
They're
bike lanes
sharrows and it's a
aren't on
greenway
the-
treatment.
aren't
It's
on the
not a bike
side,
lane.
They're like in the middle.
At a time, please.
You know what I'm talking about?
I believe so, but I'd have to look at the plans.
Okay.
Yeah, we can discuss more, but I don't want to give you the wrong information while I'm up here.
Okay.
So for 37, let's, great, good plan. Let's just get it all together so we can, give me some dates for the committee meeting for that.
Sounds good.
We can move forward with that, too.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Connor, someone from the council office will reach out to you so you can make sure you have all the department heads that need to be invited to the table with you.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
38.
Good afternoon, Beth Smith of the Water Department. Item 38 is to enter into a contract with CHA for the design of the Comstock pump station. It is approved in the CIP for the design for this year. And there was an RFP committee, and it was voted on to award it to CHA. Item number 39 is our annual agreement with Onondaga County Soil and Water. They assist the watershed residents and the city of Syracuse keeping the water clean and pristine as possible. It's an annual agreement for 32 years now. Let's see. Item 40, I believe, is regarding the house at Westcott, the rental. I believe Michael was going to address this.
Good afternoon again, councilors. Michael Lehman, Deputy Commissioner, Assessment Department. We are asking that the council authorize an amendment to the ordinance last year, which authorized a 2-year lease agreement with a employee of the Water Department at 404 Salisbury. This is a 1-year extension. The rent has increased by 5%. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 41 is a waiver for printing services. We would obtain 3 quotes before we award this, but it's for emergency printing for the Water Department. Let's see, 42 is with DEM, a waiver to really help keep the crib, the screens, and the wet well clean. There's a buildup usually of like zebra mussels and things that we need to keep clean. Keep scraped off there. Let's see. 43 is again, another waiver to obtain Gartner or Coaster in emergency situations with our booster pumping stations. Let's see, number 44 is for our SCADA system at the Water Department, our telemetry. And again, 45 is with Hunt, a waiver for emergency scuba diving services out at the lake. 46 is for our chlorine with JCI Jones that we currently have. And 47 is with our Kinsella to accept our spoils that we generate when we are repairing water mains. And 48 is a waiver to repair our Caterpillar backhoes. That's all we have at the Water Department.
Yeah, quick question.
Sure.
I know, I think we discussed it before Chris Abbott is gone. This chlorine we use here for the Water Department is different from what we use at the parks, right? Or is it the same chlorine?
For the pools.
For the pools?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, right, it's a
Absolutely.
different, it's even a whole different product, I remember from before, right?
Absolutely, it's completely different. Let's see, I believe
Thank-
I left, sure. Number 49 is a waiver with Ross valves. We have quite a few of Ross valves in the system, and they're pretty specialized. They need specialized repairs. And I believe number 50, our last one, is with our Safety Clean to pick up our used oil from repairing our vehicles and maintaining our vehicles.
Any questions?
All set?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Caldwell. Motion.
Thank you, Councilor Gathers. I have Councilor Hogan, Jimmy Montel for Councilor Hogan.
Thank you, Councilor Caldwell. Councilor Hogan has items 51 through 59. 51 will be held for a public hearing. 52.
Good afternoon, counselors. Kevin Race, Business Opportunity Specialist with NBD. I'm here to talk about items 52 and 53. 52 relates to the two $200,000 Brownfield Opportunity Area, or BOA grants we won last year through New York State Department of State. They will go towards the creation, development, and submittal of 2 BOA plans for designation by the Secretary of State, the boundaries of which my colleague Pat just passed you some maps. So they'll be known as the Erie Boulevard East BOA and the East Adams South Salina BOA. We had an RFP number 25232. It's one of the first ones on OpenGov. We got 6 submissions, and the RFP committee, which included councilors Nave and Paniagua, whittled those down to 3 finalists, which we interviewed and selected CNS companies, who's partnering with a few other firms, including EDR, Prospect Hill Consulting, and Clementine Gold Consulting. And then item 53 is we're seeking to apply to the program again this year, given that we were successful last year. So we're looking to give funds to create another BOA. This would be called the West Side Inner Harbor BOA, and it would the map isn't finalized yet, but it would probably encompass a lot of the vacant land on both sides of the Inner Harbor, as well as some of those commercial corridors on the west side, including South Getty's, Erie Boulevard West, West Genesee, and West Fayette Streets.
So to apply for the new BOA, there's no reporting from the first BOA that needs to be done?
They're kind of separate projects, so this would be a separate CFA round. So I think we're looking to formalize the contract with CNS so we can start those 2 projects. And they're actually on separate contracts, but CNS will be writing both reports kind of concurrently, but they're going to be separate reports, separate steering committees that are going to be selected, and just separate plans and strategies for each BOA because the 2 areas are so different. So this would be, if we were to win this round, we would find out in November, and then I'd be back here in a year trying to select a consultant for 53. We're hoping to get the 2 BOAs, Erie Boulevard East and East Adams, South Salina. We're hoping to get those reports finalized in the next 12 to 14 months and get them sent to the state for designation.
So will you take a step back and go bigger picture and give me a little more context around the project? Like, what is the benefit of this designation, and what are we, what are we trying to do here?
For anyone who doesn't know, a brownfield is like a contaminated property. Think like an old automotive or a factory. So the state created this program because there's just additional barriers to redeveloping a brownfield. There's a lot of contamination, whether it's in the buildings or the soil. So once you get a BOA area designated by the Department of State, it unlocks a specific pool of funds for properties located within BOAs to go towards things like environmental site assessments, pre-development expenses, engineering surveys, architectural drawings. So it just helps to get those long-time vacant contaminated properties redeveloped. We have 1 BOA existing in the city of Syracuse. It's a small BOA. It's called Hiawatha Lodi. It's like 10 blocks over where the Penfield manufacturing building is. So this would be a significant expansion of the amount of property in the city located within a BOA.
And I typically think about brownfields as being site-specific, but from the map, it's more neighborhood-oriented.
Mm-hmm.
What is the cause of contamination for, for example, the East Adams, South Salina neighborhood, and
Well, the program is called the Opportunity Area Program. It's not just going towards contaminated stuff, but kind of under the premise that if you're located next to a bunch of vacant, contaminated buildings, it negatively affects your property values too. So they really want you to look at holistically areas like, not just specific contaminated properties, but also properties adjacent to those. So for like East Adams, South Salina, we just know that there's a lot of redevelopment going on, so we wanted to kind of encompass the whole East Adams neighborhood footprint, as well as like the Western Gateway DRI footprint, which is West Onondaga and South Ave, because they like to see, the state likes to see like several programs being invested into one area as well. So that was kind of the logic behind that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.
Good afternoon, Councilors. Owen Kearney with City Planning. Good to see all of you. Like my colleague Kevin, this number 54 is also a request to permission to apply for this year's consolidated funding application for with the New York State DEC. As many of you know, we are already working with New York State DEC as part of the Climate Smart Communities program. And like many state programs, the idea is to do that initial planning work, which is well underway, but then begin to look at additional funding for projects. And so what you have before you is a request for to apply for $100,000 for a natural resources inventory. I think the short title explains what we're focused on, but the purpose of this is to get a better handle on our natural resources, whether that's water bodies, open space, tree covers, steep slopes, recreational, and basically inventory all that, look at the conditions, and develop a plan for future policy development, capital improvements. And again, these are things that New York State, once you're doing this planning, they're working with you on some of the implementation and capital projects. So it's an application with them. It's due the end of this month, and the match would be provided by Planning and Sustainability, myself and my colleague Karina. Our time spent on the project. There's no, other than staff time, no city matching funds requirement. Any questions?
Was wondering if you passed along my message from yesterday.
I did. Thank you.
Okay. To those of us in the council, yesterday was Karina's first time sitting up at the table during committee meeting, and she did a fantastic job and really did great.
Yeah,
So,
good discussion, and we appreciate the time and more discussion on EVs for those not in attendance, electric vehicles, charging and infrastructure. Again, another aspect of our work with the Climate Smart Communities program. So a lot of this work coming together, and the application before you will just further that even more.
So while we are on this subject matter, Owen, with the things like soil remediation, because I do see any opportunities there at all, because I know things like urban gardening and urban farming, and with the soil being the way it is, and opportunities, any opportunities to maybe apply for grant for soil remediation along those lines?
I expect there would be. As you heard, it's part of the Brownfield program. That's an area focused where it's more intensive planning effort. This inventory will really be citywide, and that's very much in line with the DEC's focus. How do we improve, particularly urban soils, urban recreation, wooded areas? All of this really fits together with the work that our forestry division's doing, our business development team's doing, our neighborhood team's doing, and much of the sustainability work that we talked about yesterday. So really fits together well, and we feel optimistic about this opportunity.
All right, let's talk more.
Happy to do so. Thank you.
Thanks, Owen.
Hello, councilors. I'm Zitong Wu from the zoning office. I'm director of zoning. So I got the item 55 to item 59. So the item 55 is a special use permit application to establish the restaurant land use type on the property located at 201 Milton Avenue and Ulster Street. So if approved, then there will be an ice cream shop moved into the existing vacant commercial unit there. And yeah. Any questions? Yep. And item 56 to the item 58, they are all the zoning map amendment. It's basically for a zoning map maintenance for the three adjacent properties at 505, 515, 515, and 525 Prospect Avenue. Right now, the property doesn't have any zone district, so we want to assign the zone district to it, so we can apply the zoning ordinance on these properties.
Has this gone for the planning commission yet?
Yes, it has been recommended approval by the City Planning Commission.
So there was a public meeting?
Yes.
Okay. So what are the plans for this development? Are there any plans that someone has an interest in it?
No, so far we didn't receive any application, any plans for it. Right now, this is just an application for zoning office to to do some maintenance on the zoning map.
So when we rezone it, we haven't decided what it's going to be. Like, it's going to be another business? Are we going to, because this building is so old, are we going to level it?
Yeah, right now we didn't know anything about the development on the property.
So right now you're just rezoning it?
Yes, it's because the nearby property is also in the MX4 zone district, so we want to making sure the parcel without zone district have the same zone district consistent with the nearby properties, so that there won't be causing any future obstacles to the projects.
Okay, and this property is also covers North Salina Street. When I'm looking at the map, the other side of the building, am I right? Michael?
Yeah, Councilor Michael Collins, Commissioner for Neighborhood and Business Development. So yes, Councilor, this is the Flatiron Building. And so what happened was, when Irfan was still looking at developing it, we had sections of the right-of-way that were abandoned.
Right.
But to Zitong's point, because of the timing of that and our adoption of the new zoning code, they simply, those parcels, because you don't zone right-of-way.
Right.
And so with the timing of it, these particular parcels just simply never got a zoning designation.
Okay.
So this would make them the same zoning designation that the building is, so that any future development, whether current owner, future owner, or something else, it's clean at that point. So this is just the regular, as we've been in front of you with other map maintenance items, basically, where we just have these couple of parcels across the city where they're kind of sitting in no man's land from a zoning perspective.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I'm sorry, Commissioner, before you go, do we own these properties?
I do not believe we currently, no, we do not.
Okay.
Nope. It's a party.
Well, actually, had a lot of trouble.
You guys did beautifully. We sold these to the current property owner about 2 years ago. They're encumbered by permanent easements for our snow storage, sidewalks, utilities, but we no longer own them.
Okay. And so there's no development
There's
plan
no
in
development
place
potential
currently?
here.
Okay.
What are they changing it into? Just business? What are they changing?
They're just changing to be
because it's
consistent with the adjacent properties on the South Salina frontage.
Okay. Is this Bob's School stuff?
No, this was Nastries. Nastries at one time had a business there.
Oh, gosh, this all predates me, I'm sorry.
I'm outdating you again, am I?
Sixth Ward, I'm out of my depth.
For your
Councilor Majuk, Bob's School is across the street.
Okay.
Yeah, this is on the Salina side. Bob's School is on the Ash Street, right next to what used to be Open Air Theater and is now the Temple.
Okay.
Bob's School is right there. This is across the street, so it abuts Salina on the
CYO.
other side.
Across the
So, correct, it's across from CYO.
Okay.
Yep, yeah, go through the building, and then you're at these particular three parcels that Zitong is requesting an amendment.
So we're changing the zoning so that the new owners can develop it, but we don't have a plan.
So we're changing the zoning so that the entire parcel is the same zoning. So right now, what we've
Because it's
got
not,
is the fact that the owner has all of these parcels, but since it was previously a street, and you do not zone street, you don't zone right-of-way, just kind of nothing can be done with it. And so what this does is it allows us to have a clean map so that for future development, current owner, future owner, whatever it may be, they're not having to come back later in time and figure out what happened. We know what's going on, so let's address it
So
now.
can we push for any kind of development there? Or,
We're
I mean,
always
it's privately
pushing,
owned.
Yeah, always pushing for it. It's a challenging site because of the size of the building does not lend itself really well to a lot of the subsidy programs that are out there from a housing perspective. For those that are familiar with it, it is stable, so it's not a demolition candidate at all, but it's in poor condition. So it's a capital-intensive project, and we just haven't found a developer that's been able to tie together the right funding sources yet.
I was just looking at it, it's a sore.
It is, yeah. When I used to do refugee resettlement, I was right next door to it, so I've been familiar with this building for 15 years, and it is a bit of an eyesore, a lot of an eyesore. Yeah, this is one of the things that we can do that just makes development easier.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
And Mike, I want to thank your department because I don't see Kimona for the, for that stabilization on Colvin, that porch tear down. The demo of that porch on Colvin and Hope.
I'll catch up with you afterwards.
Okay.
It's not ringing a bell. My head is elsewhere in the
Yeah,
agenda right now.
Kimona took care of it, I think.
Oh, she did? Okay. Kimona takes care of everything.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. I got a item 59. It's a street dedication. It's a part of the Syracuse Development Center projects. It's at the 800 and 802 Wilbur Avenue. So this item is to ask the street dedication for the 3 new public streets on that project site.
So these names are going to be changed to those?
Right now, the applicants wanting the street name to be Hanson, Sequin, and High Point Street.
They're brand-new streets, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Council Joe Barry, we had spoken before about some of these streets. How? I thought this had to go through a state project. As far as naming, renaming streets on this. That's what I know. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, Joe Barry, First Assistant Corporation Counsel. I guess I have to discuss further with zoning. I didn't know it was this far along for the naming.
Yeah, because we had some submissions that wanted to be out there. I just want to make sure it's fair. And who picked the names? Who picked these names? Right, I'm not against any of it. I'm just trying to figure out, because there was other submissions that, who are there? And there were other submissions that came through that were requesting.
So they do go to the Onondaga County Planning Board, and I believe the developer picked up the names.
I see, in the letter, it looks like there's 4 names in the letter, and then they picked 3 out of the 4 that they had. One of them was Officer Husak's last name, so,
One of them got dropped.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Zeke. So I believe Henson is a mistype. I believe it's for Officer Jensen. Yeah. For that first street name that's in there. So I'll go back and take a look and see if we just had a typo.
I would just
in the
like to
letter.
hold this one
Yeah.
till we find out, because there was other submissions that came requests, but we didn't, there was a process, so we didn't, we'll come back. I mean, I'm not against it by no means, but let's just make sure we didn't miss somebody out in this process.
So just so that I understand the question that you would like to have addressed, could you say that for me one more time?
There were other submissions that came through to request for us to do the names. Our new council was researching it.
Yep.
So I just don't want to go ahead and approve something and we miss somebody else out, right? Out this process.
So
That's all.
so clarify the process for you and
Right, and make sure
understand
we
that.
didn't miss anything.
Yeah,
Potential
yep,
names.
okay. Yeah, totally understood. So yeah, we'll connect and we'll get you an update on information as soon as we can.
And with this process, how does this work? So the developer is the one that requests the names to be named?
Yeah. Nate will speak to that.
Nate Pan, also from zoning planner. I can speak a little bit for how the street get picked. So when the new street come up, we will submit the kind of a request to the county name committee. So in this time, the developer come with some proposal and it's approved by the county name, street name committee. So this name is officially got approved by county and reviewed by the city planning commission. Now it's finally needs your decision whether this will be street dedicated.
That's how it has to be. But they choose the name to submit. That goes to the county.
Who changed, the actual developers?
The developer.
Okay.
Mhm.
All
They
right.
chose. It's not like they. It's not. The question is.
Kitty, if you're gonna talk, use the microphone so we can all hear you.
The question is that did they was it on them to choose or was it on the city to choose?
City also has the right, but we refer this right to the developer
Okay,
at that
so,
time.
all right.
And we didn't receive any submission, at least in the review process for another new street names.
So the city let them choose,
Yes.
the developer choose,
Mhm.
okay. All right.
All right, we'll hold that one for further
we'll hold it.
discussion.
So just a quick, so Hanson is supposed to be Jensen?
Jensen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that needs to be fixed anyway,
Yeah.
so, yes.
It's supposed to be Jensen.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay.
I'd like to know the history on these names.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm all set, Counselor Caldwell.
Thank you, Counselor Montiel. Counselor Williams, please.
Thank you, Counselor. I have items 60 through 64.
Good afternoon. Vicki Voss, Deputy Commissioner of Finance. I'm here proposing that we continue the Systems East third-party agreement. They are a credit card processing company. We also use Invoice Cloud, but we had a couple of instances this year where Invoice Cloud was not working, and people still wanted to make payments, so we want to have a backup. We reviewed with Systems East. That we have been using them since I think 2007, and we reviewed the contract, made a few changes, and reduced the annual cost by almost $9,000. So I'd like to proceed with a $6.95 a month charge.
Thank you. And 61?
And 61, Paylock, our old friend. So in lieu of changing any terms and conditions, Council had suggested that they would like to renew the existing contract for 6 months while a variety of parking and booting options are looked at. So that's the proposal, is that we would just take the existing contract, renew it through the end of December, while, with your guidance, we develop another plan for booting, whether it's continuing with Paylock or however we're going to proceed.
Can we get an amnesty now? What do you guys think?
I think that it'll take 6 to 12 months to produce an amnesty, but absolutely, if that's what you want to do, we can do one.
It takes
It's
6
been a
months
few
to
years.
12 months to create an amnesty process?
Well, because what has to happen is, in the past, now I wasn't here, but what I was told was that they had to contract out to get a company to scrub, which is a technical term that I guess means, to look at the address data that we have, because some of the parking tickets that we have go back to the 1990s and before. So if we have old data and we're sending out notices to those old addresses, it's just going to come back and be a waste of money and time. And it will serve no purpose, because then we don't really get a hold of people. So what was done in the past was they hired this company, I believe it was called LexisNexis. They did research to see, okay, Mary Smith was at 123 Main Street in 1990. Where is she now? And they came up with this list so that we could forward these notices to the people at their present address.
We don't have
Vicki, what do you
anything-
mean hired LexisNexis? We use LexisNexis in the law department currently.
Well, it was a special project. This was a special project that they,
Okay.
yeah, because it was a specific project that we had them do specifically for parking outside of anything else that they would have done for the city. It's a one-time
Okay.
thing.
And did you get any follow-up on that 2-ticket?
Yeah, I sent you an email.
You sent me an email?
Yep,
Okay.
there's absolutely no other booting for a person with 2 tickets, and they have no explanation of how it happened, which is disconcerting, because that just means, why would it, I want to know that it's not going to happen again.
Yeah. Okay, so a refund will be?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we are researching amnesty right now. Counselor Williams?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Along with that, after we clarify and move forward with a better system, right? There's already things in place for us to reduce the number of boots and people that aren't paying their violations. We could also make a recommendation to the DMV to put a hold on the registration and stuff like that as well.
That's true. That is an option that's available, that they could revoke the person's registration, and then they have no way to get to their job and make a paycheck. Absolutely not my decision. It's just something that previous administrations did not feel was something they didn't have an appetite for. So if that has changed, there are other options that we can certainly discuss.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think we can look at that too.
Thank you. Item 62 is an amendment for, I'm guessing, just outstanding funds.
Yeah, good afternoon, Council. Mike Kenizer, Commissioner of Finance. So the Fox Point IT audit was approved at $88,000. In that contract, they actually had a clause for $1,500 of incidental expenses, which they spent $552.96. So we're just asking to increase the contract by that $552. So the total cost of that will be $88,552 from the previous $88,000. Great, thank you.
All right. And then item 63. And I know that Lisa Romano-Moore had hoped to be here today, but
Yes, Corey Dunham, Chief Administrative Officer. So this is just the annual allotment that's included in the budget on special objects for the Onondaga Historical Association, the services they provide to the city.
and I ran into Lisa last week, and she, expressed her appreciation.
Yeah, I think we were hoping they could be here, but I think there was a conflict today that she wasn't able to attend.
Yep. Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Matt O.J., Commissioner of Assessment. This is our annual excursion up here to modify the roll to reflect a big aggregation of properties who had set out charges ultimately inappropriately applied after adjudication by the BAA.
Appendix B.
And Appendix B, this West Matson property is unusual. There was a resub post-foreclosure. There was delinquency on the property. Ultimately, that delinquency shouldn't survive the resub, going back to modify the roll to reflect that.
There was a resub that didn't take place. I'm sorry.
My notes are a little inadequate. I can get a more detailed, bulleted answer here. But it was ultimately a flawed roll as a result of a resub after a foreclosure.
What, was it a lot next to the house that foreclosed and now you gotta?
Yeah.
Similar to the Northside situation from last year.
Remember that? Yeah, that rings a bell. Street name escapes me. But yeah, that sounds familiar. It's unusual, but I guess not unprecedented. Thanks all.
Foreclosure, but it was a sell, and,
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner. Is that all I have? All right.
Thank you, Counselor Williams. Counselor Jones-Rauser.
All right, thank you, Counselor. I have items 65 and 66.
Good afternoon, Councilors Owen Kearney, Planning and Sustainability. This is a second CFA application request to apply for New York State Department of State funds. These funds, we're requesting a not-to-exceed amount of up to $250,000, would complement the existing city funds that have been allocated to the development of the comprehensive plan. So trying to build on that, our current allocation in the current budget year to help complete and update our comprehensive plan. So happy to answer any questions about that. But again, this is another grant application. It's due at the end of the month. And we are optimistic about getting some or all of these funds awarded. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon again, councilors. Item 66, this is a request to do a short extension on the contract with Home Headquarters for the administration of the Financial Empowerment Center. There's currently an RFP that we have out right now for the program, and we have a due date for responses of July 17th. So this would give us a short window to be able to receive those, convene the committee, make a recommendation, and come back to you all for approval of a new vendor. But this allows for us to be able to continue the program in the meantime.
Okay. I have no question on this. I'm trying to catch Owen before he leaves.
Oh.
Sorry. Anybody
enough.
questions on this one?
No? Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. Owen, can I just go back to 65 really quickly? Absolutely. Does the comprehensive plan, does this cover housing as well?
It will. Obviously, the city and my colleagues in NBD have drafted and done a significant amount of housing work and planning, many which I know many of you are familiar with and have been involved with. So, which is great that our work will use that as the basis for the planning work that we're doing, which is really looking at a 10 to 20 year time frame. So I'm thankful that that work's been complete. We'll use that work. It will inform this work, but I think because that planning that's been done, you know, we'll build on that, but we're surely not going to repeat or duplicate things that have already been done here in the last 2 to 3 years.
Okay, I just want to reiterate my concern for housing that is specific to smaller families. So in the last couple of years, there's been lots of development for properties that have 1 and 2 bedroom units, and a lot of our families are much larger than that. So we are in great need of 3, 4, and 5 bedroom units, which is becoming a real problem, especially with, you know, our dilapidated properties. So that's my main concern, that we take a double look at that.
Understood, and that makes a lot of sense. And I should note that really later this year into the new year, we'll be doing a significant amount of outreach and engagement. I imagine all of you will be involved to some extent, but look forward to working with you as we move this forward. It's going to be a big effort, and we surely want to not only engage the council, but ultimately get the council's support. So we're going to be well aware of that and happy to talk more about that. That's a pretty clear direction that we'll take forward.
Even when we're talking about family homelessness, that plays a huge role in it, that these larger families can't find a place to relocate to because there are no properties of that size.
It's just not out there.
Yeah.
Understood. Thanks, Counselor.
All right, thank you.
Where else that? Thank you, Counselor Jones-Rouser. Councilman Majoke, please.
Yep, this is the waiver item, 67 for CRB. And this is our new Citizen Review Board Administrator. This is not your first time here, is it, Nolita?
I did come to the last meeting, but I was a little late.
Yeah.
I got the times confused.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Nolita Tannehill, the Administrator for the Citizens Review Board. We're here today to ask that it be amended for our Freeland investigation, as we have been using them because we do not have an investigator at this point. But so we've been using them a little bit more. We have about 6 cases with them now. So we're asking that the council would approve up to $20,000, not to exceed, and all the other terms be the same.
We just approved something for Freeland.
It was the last.
It was last year.
Yeah, last year. Probably we're coming back for the 25, 26. This is just, this is.
Extension.
Yeah, probably to pay some bills.
Yeah.
Are all of his payments caught up for Freeland?
Yes.
Okay.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor, thank you, Counselor Majoke. Another waiver item for Counselor Penny Hagwa.
Good afternoon again. So this is a small grant application of $1,250 to supplement the SUNY funding for training and internship, or can you explain us this better?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. Greg Lowe, Chief Policy Officer, today for the Office of Communications. The council has previously authorized the city's participation in the MACNY Registered Apprenticeship Program, which allows us to complete apprenticeship training for people in various positions in city government. In this case, this is a position in the Office of the Mayor for Marketing Associate. These funds, which are available through New York State, delivered to us ultimately by MACNY, allow us to cover any costs or costs associated with the program, including our fees with MACNY. So it's an excellent opportunity for us to just recapture funds.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for all your communications during the week. About this.
Thank you for accepting this. The quick cover on this is this letter was due on Monday, so we were able to, with Councilor Paniagua's permission, bring it to you forward and still take advantage of the funding. We had a staffing matter that caused us to not get to you in time, and I appreciate the clerk's help and the council's hearing this as a waiver item today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Paniagua. Councilor Jones-Rouser.
Thank you, Counselor. I have item 69.
Good afternoon, Council. Brianka Hill, Director of Business Development, MBD, also a proud Nottingham alum.
Let's go.
I'm here to discuss item 69 regarding the Pro Housing Supply Funds Program. We are looking to apply for the upcoming CFA, specifically as a certified pro-housing community. We are eligible to apply for this program, which is really nice. With this, we're looking to apply for up to $10 million to support infrastructure improvements needed to create affordable housing in the East Adams neighborhood. As we all know, right now, the Reconnecting Communities $30 million grant is at risk. So this $10 million grant could be very helpful in supporting some of those infrastructure upgrades, especially if we lose that funding. Specifically, these expenses relate to capital improvements related to road, water, sewer, and electrical utilities, as well as a portion of it being used for design costs. There is a 50% match. One of the things that the program allows us to do is use that match based on funds that have been invested or funds that we would look to invest. With that, due to fund and investments that have gone in through the Syracuse Housing Authority, we're looking to utilize that as the 50% match. Therefore, there wouldn't be any additional funds needed from the city to meet that requirement.
All right. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you, Councilor Jones-Rouser.
Well, I'm sorry, let me just, so I just want to be sure when you say that there won't be an additional match. So this is based on money that we will potentially be putting into the housing area, or is stuff that's already been done?
So it'll be a combination of funding that's already been invested, as well as that will be eventually invested. The beauty here is outside of what the Syracuse Housing Authority investment consists of, we also have investment from MBS due to their development-related process. So there is essentially multiple sources we can use here as our 50% match, but there will not be any additional funds needed from the city investment-wise.
Okay.
Can that go in the legislation? Would that to be in the legislation?
MBS?
Yes.
I think it might be somewhat detailed in there, but yeah, we'd get a new letter and have that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Jones-Rouser. And now it's myself again, Councilor Caldwell. I have, we're at the end, y'all, we're there. I have item 70.
Good afternoon, councilors. Connor Muldoon, Chief Operating Officer. Item 70 is part of our enterprise GIS expansion plans. This is working with our Parks Department, our IT Department, and our Office of Analytics, Performance, and Innovation to develop a work order management system within our Parks Departments. This is using the same software that is in our Water Department, expanding that to our Parks Department and our Skilled Trades departments. This is about building those systems so that we can fix things in the field faster.
Good.
Thank you.
We're there. Let's go. Item 71. Let's go, Chris Abbott. Take us home.
Starting us off and winding us down, Chris Abbott, Deputy Commissioner of Parks Department.
Again, item 71 is for an agreement with the Red House Arts Center for services related to performing arts program, workshops, and sessions held as part of our summer recreation programming.
Annual program every year.
Annual program.
I remember I used to stand in line at 6 o'clock in the morning when I ran different programs to get in line just to register kids. So I know how amazing this program is.
Yeah, I was thinking it's, and a part of our, the enrichment portion of our programs, and yeah, it's a terrific program, so thank you.
Well, thank you. Any questions?
This part of 2025 says 2024.
They'll fix it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
This is the annual project, but thank you.
Right.
Good catch.
Good catch.
Good catch. Marty's on it today. Well, no other questions. We thank you for coming, and this meeting's adjourned.